everyone. Good morning. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. So, for announcements for this week, I'm going to save that one for last. So, on the 19th, Tuesday, we have an executive board meeting at 7 p.m. On June 24th, next Sunday, is a new members class for all the new members who are in their classes. And I think you have about one more to finish. And June 25th to 29th is Vacation Bible School. Other announcements? The pastoral installation of Reverend Sean C. Harrison is Sunday, July 1st at Zion Baptist Church of Philadelphia. 10 a.m. worship services, Reverend Dr. Dante Hickman, pastor of Southern Baptist Church of Baltimore, Maryland. 4 p.m. with the service of installation with Reverend Dr. Alan E. Waller, senior pastor, Enon Tabernacle Baptist Church of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This free parking is available at Shriners Hospital, and their theme is "Now all glory to God, who is able, through his mighty power at work within us, to accomplish infinitely more than we ask or think," from the New Living Translation. Also, it says, "Come join Dolly in celebrating her 60th birthday and book launching party." Dolly dishes it out. She is 60, sassy, and waiting to be found. At Charlestown Township Park, 100 Academic Way, Phoenixville, PA. This will be Saturday, June 30th, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Food, music, and fun all are welcome and invited. First 25 people get $5 off the book price. And book prizes every hour from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we will post this downstairs. To make a difference. One tree can start a forest. One smile can begin a friendship. One hand can lift a soul. One word can frame the goal. One candle can wipe out darkness. One laugh can conquer gloom. One moon can raise your spirits. One touch can show you care. One life can make a difference. Be that one today. Love ya, Sister Dolly.
Amen.
There will be a Making a Difference Day, sponsored by the Phoenixville Gospel Jubilee, bringing gospel music God's way. This will be on Saturday, July 14th, 3 to 7 p.m. Rain date is July 21st. This will be at Andre Thornton Park on the north side of Phoenixville. It says, bring a chair and enjoy. There will be free food, live gospel music, so free food from 3 to 5 p.m., live gospel music at 5:30 p.m., blood pressure checks, free school supplies and back-to-school book bags for the kids, free clothing, and much more. To make a difference in the world, you must be a difference from the world. It's not just music, it's the experience. Another announcement, volunteers needed. Just a few more volunteers are needed to complete the summer food program that feeds local children. It's only one day a week for 4 weeks, July 2nd to July 27th. Please help us to help the kids and give your name to Sister Teresa Thornton. Thank you. Also, yesterday I want to thank everyone who came out to the Education Ministry graduate luncheon. We had a great attendance and it was a great day for the honorees. One of the honorees at the scholarship and the graduate luncheon, there was a new award, the Arcola Thornton Scholarship Award. And this award was going to give you the eligibility, must be obtained a GED, or high school graduate, college student currently enrolled half-time, full-time, or recent graduate. Essay submission, they had to apply for this scholarship to submit a 250-word or more essay explaining how humility in service to God strengthens the power of God within you. The winner of the scholarship must read the essay during church service the Sunday after the graduate luncheon, which is today. The winning essay will be based on content only. And I would now like to call forward the winner of that contest and the scholarship award, who is Sister Esther Jean Saunders.
decided to go back to school last year, or at least I thought I decided, I guess it was God, because it took me a year, and challenges and sacrifices, but he just kept saying, get up and go, get up and go. It was in Reading, which took me about 45 minutes to an hour up and back every day. And then while I was there, I encountered some struggles. A couple of teachers were, I guess, racist. They were distributing clients based on race. So I guess God used me. I mean, I guess all this was for a reason. Because there were other black students there that were experiencing the same thing. But they were afraid to stand up. So I stood up, and they came in and fired some teachers, made some changes. So hopefully it's going to get better for the students that come behind. Another way I know that it was God was that, again, there was days I just wanted to give up, but he just said, keep going. So I never, in the whole year that I went, I didn't get any accidents. I always made it straight there safely and back. He always made a way for gas because that was expensive. So he just kept making a way, so there was no way I could give up. So I got my diploma, and I just wanted to show you guys. So it's in cosmetology, and the plan is to open up a business with my daughter, Carlesia, who also is a cosmetologist. And my son, Chris, once he gets it together, because he has a love for Barbara. Good morning, saints. Today I will be talking about how humility in service to God strengthens the power of God within you. Let's first look at the definition of humility, or what it means to be humble. The Webster Dictionary describes humility as a modest or low view of one's own importance. Synonyms or words with the same meaning are modesty, meekness, unassertiveness, lack of pride, lack of vanity, servility, submissiveness, freedom from pride or arrogance. In the Bible, humility or humbleness is the quality of being courteously respectful of others. Proverbs 16:8 says, better a little with righteousness than much gain in justice. Proverbs 11:2-3 says, when pride comes, then comes dishonor, but with the humble is wisdom. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the falseness of the treacherous will destroy them. Matthew 23:11-12, but the greatest among you shall be your servant, and whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. The Bible mentions the word humble 25 times and uses it in 72 verses. Next, we will define the word service. If you notice, the word service is also mentioned in the definition of the word humble. So the two words go together, hand in hand in the Bible. Webster's Dictionary describes the word service as the action of helping or doing work for someone, or a system supplying a public need, such as transport, communications, or utilities, such as electric and water. Synonyms for same meaning: favor, kindness, amenity, facility. In the Bible, the word service means the activity of the spiritual life and is the natural offering prompted by love. Mark 10:45 says, for even the Son of Man cannot be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Philippians 2:5-7 says, have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men. Matthew 28, 8 through 10, and Acts 1 and 8 says, Jesus had all the glory with the Father in heaven, yet he emptied himself of his glory and took the form of a servant. Even though he is equally God, he didn't count it as something to grasp or hold on to, but for our sake gave his life. To be a servant of Christ means we must be his slave and do all he asks us to do. The word servant is mentioned 489 times in the Bible. Serve is mentioned 209 times, and service is mentioned 132 times. Now that we have defined these two very important words from our text, I can explain how humility and service to God has strengthened the power of God within myself. In 2007, I was at a very low point in my life. Lost my job, car, and my place. Then after all of that, my fiance's cousin was gunned down and killed. After seeing Timmy dead in a car and having to go find his mom to inform her of his death, it was at the time very upset with God. I felt as though he had allowed these things to happen in my life, and in my despair couldn't figure out why, if you were such a loving and good God, why are these things happening? Yes, I was questioning God. I was questioning who God was and how is he a good God. Several days later, I go to Timmy's funeral, and a pastor who is doing Timmy's eulogy comes out and says, someone here is mad at God, is mad at the Lord. Looking around the room, I stay in silence. How does he know it's me? I am mad at God. The preacher then goes on to say, God did not shoot this man shot him. After the service and meeting this pastor, I was compelled to start going back to church again. Church was somewhere I was made to attend on my own with my sister and cousins every Sunday. So I had a general idea of who God was. So I started attending different churches to hear God's word. Finally, God led me to the church that the same pastor that did Timmy's funeral was. As I entered the doors, a feeling came through my heart, a feeling of a welcoming spirit. So again, it led me to attend each and every Sunday. Here I learned about God, his word, prayer, and worshiping him. I started to talk to God daily, read his word, pray, and worship, attend Bible study, and even Bible school. The more I did these things, the more I wanted to please God with my words, deeds, and actions. Humbleness became a huge word and a huge act, because in humbling yourself, you have to lose yourself and your own desires. Hard to do, but the more I wanted to please God, the easier it came to bow down to his desires for my life. In 2015, I lost my best friend to gun violence. 6 shots took his life away. God picked me up from the ground again. As I prayed before him to take away the pain, in time, he did just that. Only to lose my father in 2016. My father and I didn't have the closest relationship, but as I fell to my knees in despair, he picked me up again, helped me to forgive my father, and to be forgiven as a daughter. The unconditional love, he responds to your darkest times and hours with overpowers the pain and guilt of life issues. It's that undying love that makes you want to give him your heart. In return, it humbles you to want to serve him and share his goodness with others. The love He saturates your entire being with empowers me that I can accomplish anything, like returning to school and opening my own and wanting to open my own hair salon. Empowers me to want to tell others that they too can get through anything with God. Empowers me to let others know He is always by your side and you can come out of your struggles, trials, and tribulations if you stay connected to your Creator. Empowers me to be a better person and mother. I stand before you today, empowered, strong in my faith that God is exactly who He said He is, and He will do exactly what He says His word, and He will do exactly what His word says He will do. May I encourage all to try Him at His word. Empowerment is strength in God that will deliver you and carry you through this thing called life. Because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And without faith, it is impossible to please the God we serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther Jean. I can see and feel the spirit of Mother Fortin with us. I can see her sitting over there now, nodding her head. Thank you. We thank the family for the scholarship. Also, birthdays for this week. Today is the birthday of Sister Cynthia Wilson.
Amen.
Tomorrow is the birthday of Sister Ida Butler Finkland. The 19th of Brother Rodney Floyd. The 20th of Sister Lisa Vincent. The 22nd of Sister Virginia Bertuccio. And the 23rd is the birthday of Brother Kevin Henry. And we're going to close the announcement from Sister Lisa Vincent.
Good morning, church. You know, August 4th, the first Saturday in August, is going to be our 5th annual walk for stillbirth awareness. So we didn't do the big hoopla like we used to do because Latifah she was pregnant and had a baby. So it's hard for her to do all that she normally does. But she did want the church to know that it is still happening this year. We thought she would cancel it and just do something big next year, but she didn't want to do it because Taylor would have been 5 this year. So it's what we're doing this year is a virtual walk. So from any place that you're at, you can sign up and register to do your walk virtually. So you can walk in your community, they can walk in any state. So we opened it up to the nation now. So it's a virtual walk and people send in pictures from where their walk is. And we still will be giving out t-shirts and stuff. We still will be at Charleston Park this year, but it's not going to be the big thing like we usually do. So we are still looking for donations of water, the exercise bars. We will give out t-shirts, she said, but the cutoff is, I believe, early registration is July 17th. So if you register before then, your shirt will come to you. Or if you're going to be at Charleston, we will hand the shirt out to you that morning. But if not, if you're walking someplace else, we're going to ship the shirts to wherever you're walking at. So just to know that we are still having a walk. I think the registration for the team this year is $25 for early registration and $15 for the kids. But you can go on Taylor Morgan Hamilton Foundation and it'll pull up for the 5th annual Stillbirth Awareness Walk. And if you have any questions, I probably will be flying back to Texas again early July to help Latifah bring the boys back. So she'll be back here then and she'll announce everything to the church.
Amen.
Okay, but if any questions, just let me know. And again, you can go on the website. And she thanks Bethel again for being one of her biggest sponsors and contributors. Okay, God bless.
Thank you, Sister Lisa. At this time, I'd like all the pastor's aid members to please stand. Reverend Coleman, please come forward. Always looks. Pastor's aid would like to thank you for all that you do. We wouldn't be the same without you. We're happy that you're back sitting in the pulpit, and we just want you to know that we appreciate you and love you, and this is a small token of our love for Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. God bless you, and everyone have a great week. And for Bible study this week, please be prepared with Romans chapter 3. Thank you.
Help and build up Vacation Bible School. I couldn't have done it without all of you. I just want to say personally thank you. And so we only have almost one more week and a half before Vacation Bible School. Vacation Bible School is June the 25th. So we will have our last meeting this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock. And hopefully at that time, I'd like to tie everything together. So be prepared to stay more than an hour. Everybody who signed up to play a part, please come so we can, put everything together. Again, thank you from my heart. Pastor thanks you, but most importantly, God thanks you.
Good morning. Good morning. We thank God for all the announcements. Let us keep all of our announcements in mind and govern ourselves accordingly. Amen? Amen. I want to thank the church for just being, we had a pretty busy weekend. I want to thank the church for coming together to celebrate the homegoing of Sister Eleanor Reynolds on Friday. I want to thank the choir, the hospitality ministry, and all the church that participated and was part of the homegoing service of Sister Eleanor Reynolds. I really appreciate that. You know that she was here only a year and a half, but we celebrated her life, and I know that the family appreciated it so much. And so we want to continue to keep Eleanor Reynolds' family in our prayers, our brother Chris Reynolds, brother William Cox, and Sister Tamara Cox, and the whole family. We want to continue to lift them up, especially during this time of bereavement for them. I want to thank the Education Committee because that happened this weekend also. The Education Luncheon yesterday, which was a wonderful affair. I want to thank Mr. Alice Ingram and the Education Ministry and all the work that they put into that endeavor yesterday. The food was good, the fellowship was good. Dr. Stephen Jones, Associate Dean of Students at the School of Engineering at Villanova University, was our speaker, and we just had a good time. We honored our graduates. Octavia Perry won the Willa Bell Foreman Award. My son, John Coleman, won the award that was sponsored by the Winston family, the Beatrice Winston Award. As you know, the Arcola Thornton Award was awarded to Esther Saunders. And by the way, Esther Saunders, you did a marvelous job. And, I really had to preach this morning because you kind of gave a message this morning. But we honor you and we honor the journey that God has taken you through. We know that there's been a lot of ups and downs. And we know that life has not been a bed of roses. And we just thank God for your tenacity. We thank God for your courage and for your faith to continue forging on. We just appreciate you and we love you. And the world is open to you. Whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do it in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen? The Baptist Church behind you. Amen. We're very proud of you and God bless you. God keep you. Amen? Amen. We also, the Debbie P. Mitchell Award was awarded yesterday, established in honor of Sister Debbie Mitchell, and John Coleman won that, and he also was awarded the Buffalo Baptist Education Ministry Award. And so we want to thank God for all of the award winners. We want to thank God for the education ministry and all the families, the Foreman family, the Winston family, the Thornton family, and the education ministry that provides scholarships for our young people to move on further, another level. So we are appreciative of the families that make contribution to make the scholarships available. We thank God for the contributions of the church and the events that take place during the course of the year that make our scholarships possible. And again, Mrs. Dallas Ingram, Education Ministry, thank you so much for a job well done. Look around, we see some folks have been away, they're back with us. Sister Rose Harper. In Switzerland. She brought back some collard greens. No, we're so glad that she had a chance to travel and she's back with us. We missed her while she was away. We're glad she's back here with us. Amen. Also, we see Brother Tom Ramsey back there. He was away in Nebraska. We're so glad when people leave that God gives them a safe travel and bring them back to us. Amen. Amen. We also want to also acknowledge that Papa is having their Father's Day event in Reservoir Park today. So after the service, we want you to make your way at the Reservoir Park to support the efforts of Papa. They've been doing this for a long time. The president is our own, Reverend Gregory Thornton. So we want to make sure that you go out and support Papa. Papa is a very influential and very great organization in this community. Amen. And we want to continue to support it and make sure that it continues to do the great work in this community that it continues to do. Amen? Amen. Next Sunday, Dress Down Sunday. Look, and don't get carried away. We want y'all to be cool, but not too cool. Because we want y'all to come clothed in righteousness. Amen. And clothed adequately. Amen. Don't have to wear a suit, don't have to wear a tie. But we do want you to come clothed with righteousness, and we want you to be more casual. Because it's not about the apparel anyway, right? It's not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside. We always say that, but we really don't test them. So next Sunday I'm going to be looking to see. Also, I want to also just say a word about something that happened this week. You're probably watching the news, and you probably heard the Attorney General and the Press Secretary talking about the situation with immigration in our country and quoting the Bible, Romans 13. And it disturbs me when people use the Bible for one thing, but don't use the Bible for another thing. So they have used the Bible to prop up a policy. It's not law. It's a policy that the administration has encouraged. And again, people are saying, they'll just talk about the gospel, they'll talk about politics. People don't understand that the gospel has political implications. And in this situation, when you have the powers that be take the Bible and legitimate a position that separates parents from children, there's something wrong with that. Because if you look at Romans 13, you also have to continue reading Romans 13. And it tells you about what our commitment is to our neighbor. And if you are really serious about the Bible, then you must contrast Romans 13 with Revelation 13, where the Bible talks about what happens when the government gets crazy. And when a person has power and they use the Bible, it becomes problematic. Because when you have power then you legitimate your own position. That's why, as Sister Saunders told us about humility, that you don't approach the Bible from a position of power. You approach the Bible from a position of humility. God is always concerned with the widows. God is concerned with the orphans. God is concerned with the marginalized. Those who are on the bottom, those who are on the outside, those who society rejects. And so, if you are a slave owner and you read the Bible, it will be different from being a slave and reading that same Bible. Because you read the Bible, the question is, what position are you reading the Bible from? So therefore, when you read the Bible and you legitimate policies that separate families, that is demonic. Because the Bible, the Word of God says that we are called to accept the stranger, to accept the alien, to accept those that are at our border. Can you imagine the baby Jesus trying to leave oppression because Herod was on his tail? And they came to Egypt, and Mary and Joseph said to Mary and Joseph, I'm sorry, you can't come in here. So we're trying to escape persecution. I'm sorry, this is Egypt, you can't come in here. But Hosea, in his prophecy, says, out of Egypt I have called my son. And so I'm glad that there were some open borders in Egypt so that Jesus and his family could escape persecution. So if you want to talk about the Bible, you need to talk about our responsibility to the stranger, to the alien, to the wanderer in our country. So don't read the Bible from a position of power. Read the Bible from a position of weakness. Read the Bible from a position of vulnerability. Read the Bible from a position of humility. And if you do that, then you will hear and you will understand what thus saith the Lord. God bless you, God keep you, and may heaven's face continue to shine upon you.